Welcome, I'm Rose Oatley, and today I'm going to show you how to make a sirloin steak on a skillet. Now this is a cheaper cut of meat, but you can still make it so tender and juicy if you make it right. So what do you say? Let's get cooking, good looking.
If you're in the mood for delicious food, come cook with Rose Oatley.
Today I'm going to be cooking prime sirloin. Now you have different grades of beef. You've got prime, choice, select, standard, and commercial grade. This one weighs 2.37 pounds. I recommend that you stick to prime if you can. I've got two more packages here because I am feeding a family of 4. These weigh 1.14 pounds. Now I want to be as specific as I can with you because I want to make sure that you get the same delicious results as I do. So I'm going to go ahead and measure my steak here for you just so you know the thickness of my steak. This one is 3/4 of an inch thick. It's very important that you let your meat sit out for at least 30 minutes to come to room temperature. Cooking cold meat on a pan can cause your meat to become dry and lose those juicy flavors. After you rinse your meat, be sure to pat it dry to remove all the moisture. First, you want to start with a little bit of olive oil. This is also going to help the spices stick a little better. You really don't need much. Just make sure that you do both sides and that you brush along the sides as well. To season, I'm going to start with kosher salt. I like using coarse salt. The coarser grains of kosher are the agents responsible for the breakdown of the muscle protein. So if you can, use kosher salt. If not, that's fine. Now we're going to go in with some pepper. Make sure you get the steak completely coated with our seasoning, including the sides. Get your sides by just rubbing them against your board where the seasoning is falling. You can stick to just salt and pepper if you'd like, but I like to add a little bit of garlic powder for some added flavor. Now just make sure that you're not using garlic salt, otherwise you'll oversalt it. After seasoning both sides, I'm going to take 6 garlic cloves and crush them just to have them ready for later. Just take your knife and give them a quick whack. Here I'm just chopping up a little bit of parsley to use for garnishing later. Preheat your skillet for a few seconds. Then you want to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And I'm going to give you exact measurements of everything so you get it just right. All right, here I'm using a cast iron skillet. I don't recommend that you use a non-stick skillet because it's not going to work the same. I highly recommend a cast iron skillet. If not, you can try using a stainless steel skillet. Now, these are fairly inexpensive. I'll post a link in my description section below. All right, so now you want to get it really hot until it's smoking. Once your pan is smoking hot like this, or like you, yeah. Now you can tell everyone Rose called you smoking hot. Anyway, it's time to add the steak. By the way, I started my heat on high and then turned it down to a number 7. You want to make sure you get that nice sizzle. Now the trick to this is that you let it get a nice sear on one side and not flip it right away. So we are going to set a timer for 2 minutes. This one steak is going to be more of a medium, so I'm going to cook it a little bit longer than my next one. My next one and favorite is closer to a medium rare. I recommend setting a timer if you have to get it just right. It's been 2 minutes. Time to flip it. You see this nice sear? This is exactly what you want and what you'll get with a cast iron skillet. Just a quick note, whenever I end up with thicker steaks than this, I cook them on their side for a few seconds to render all the fat. Now let's get back to where we were at. Okay, now I'm going to set my timer again on this side. This time I'm going to go with 1.5 minutes. When you have about 30 seconds left, you can start adding your butter. Here I've got 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Woo, we got a lot of smoke here. Must be all your hotness. As our butter melts, I'm going to add 1 sprig of rosemary and another of thyme. I'm also going to be adding 3 of my garlic cloves I've crushed earlier. After my 1.5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over again. And we are going to start basting it with all our delicious flavors that the rosemary, thyme, butter, and garlic will give us. So good. We're going to cook it just for a few seconds and then we're going to flip it over and baste the other side. You want to keep flipping it over for a few seconds each time, basting it until you get your desired doneness. I recommend using a thermometer for your desired doneness. I'll post all the different temps for each one in the description below and in my comments. But now don't leave because the second steak is going to be slightly different. This one steak is done. I'm going to let it rest. You don't want to cut into it. In the meantime, let's start on our second steak. I'm going to go ahead and remove all of my herbs and my garlic because I don't want it to burn, but I'll leave my butter in there. Let's go ahead and lay our second steak. I have my heat set at a number 7, but this time we're going to set a timer for just 1 minute. After 1 minute, we're ready to flip it, and we're going to set a timer for another minute on the other side. At this time, I'm going to add another fresh sprig of rosemary, thyme, and my 3 garlic cloves. By the way, I do have an air fryer ribeye steak recipe on my channel, so if you haven't checked that one out, be sure and check it out. I'll post the link up top. It's been 1 minute. Let's flip it over. Now I'm going to add my 4 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to baste it for just a bit. After about 30 seconds of basting it, I'm going to flip it over. Let's baste it one more time. Now, doesn't that look good? I can already taste it.
You're watching Rose Oakley. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell to get notified of any new videos.
All right, this is now ready. I'm going to put it on a plate to rest for at least 10 minutes. And in the meantime, we're going to work on our mushrooms. After cooking all your steaks to the same pan, you're going to add 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. You want to leave your rosemary and thyme and garlic in there this time. Over on this side, I sliced up about 1/4 to half of an onion into strips, and I'm adding an 8-ounce package of sliced portobello mushrooms. We're going to get these sauteed, add a couple spices, and these mushrooms are going to make such a great addition to go with your steak. Now, if for some reason you don't like mushrooms, then by all means you can skip them. But I am a mushroom lover, and I love them with my steak. I have my heat set at low. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of kosher salt, about 1/2 teaspoon. You don't need much. Then we're going to go in with a little bit of pepper. Now the next is optional. We already have garlic in there, but I like to still add 1 teaspoon of minced garlic in there. You can add it if you like. If not, that's fine too. My onions are becoming a little caramelized, which is what I want. Now these won't take too long to cook, so you just want to saute them for a little while and they should be done. All right, these look pretty good. Let's go plate. Here I've got my 1 steak with mushrooms on the side. You can pour the mushrooms on top as well. I'm going to go ahead and garnish this with my parsley I chopped up earlier. We'll cut into this one, which I think is more of a medium, and then we'll cut into my other steak, which is more of a medium rare. Let me flip these over so you can see. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, for my next steak here, I only cooked my mushrooms. I didn't add onions to this one. And look at all the delicious juice that's in here. Oh my gosh. So much flavor in here. All right, let's cut this open. Let's flip this one over. This again should be closer to medium rare. Perfect. What do you think? That looks so good. I can smell it and I can't wait to taste it. All right, let me add a little bit of garnish for you because you're going for the taste test today. All right, guys, first you, then me. Are you ready? Open up. Now look how tender and juicy this looks. Can you taste it already? Tell me. I bet you can. This is so good. I know it already. Okay, what? You want a mushroom? Okay, hang on. Whoops. Sorry. I dropped the mushroom. Here you go. Open up. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm teasing you with this. I am so sorry. Now it's my turn. Mmm. Mmm. I know you're gonna love this. This is so good, guys. Nothing says you can't make a delicious, juicy, tender sirloin steak on a pan. Just follow my exact instructions and you will have one too. Let me know how you like your steaks in the comments below. I really hope you enjoy it, and if you can, please help me out by sharing with friends. If you haven't already subscribed, please be sure to do so below or hit my little picture on the side. And don't forget to click the bell to get notified of all of my new videos. Be sure to check out these links on this side. Thanks for watching and your support. Share with your friends.